Exactly is the Sister Cities for Peace project?
The Sister Cities for Peace project is a cooperation between Munich, Germany, and New York City. In February and March of 2003, as the Bush administration marched off to war in Iraq and had the entire world, also here in Europe and throughout the globe, holding its breath as we saw the attempts of the United Nations and the weapons inspectors being discredited, peace activists took to the streets throughout Germany. And in Berlin, there were over 500,000. In Berlin and in Munich, massive demonstrations took place during this period of time. We read that the New York Times reported in March of 2003 that the global peace movement was a political force to be considered seriously. The political force at that point was a national force in each of the European countries, and our Sister City for Peace project was developed to make us much stronger across the Atlantic Ocean. On July 4th in 2003, American peace activists throughout Europe met in Berlin, and we came from Germany, Holland, the Czech Republic, and France, and we formed a coalition that is called American Voices Abroad. The Munich American Peace Committee, which has existed for over 22 years in Munich, joined this coalition. As we continue to work in each of our individual countries throughout Europe as American peace activists in this larger coalition of American Voices Abroad, to show that Americans do not all support the Bush administration's war on terror, we developed the idea in July of 2003 to have Sister City for Peace projects, and that's what we're doing right now with New York City. We want to have an ongoing relationship with New York City and liaison with the peace activist groups in downtown New York, because New York is where 9/11 took place. And as all of us were shocked and horrified to see 9/11 take place, we were very proud as Americans to see that not everyone in America joined the crusade that the Bush administration had proclaimed, this war on terror. And that is why we chose New York City as our Sister City for Peace with Munich.
What has been done so far to get this project off the ground?
In 2004, the Munich American Peace Committee announced throughout Munich to our cooperating groups, we're part of a larger German coalition of peace groups in downtown Munich. We announced that we wanted to work on a Sister City for Peace project. I traveled to New York in May of 2004 and made individual contacts with Not in Our Name, United for Peace and Justice, the War Resisters League, and many other peace groups in Manhattan, and asked them if they would be interested in working with us. Then through the rest of 2004, as I came back to Munich, we encouraged various representatives from the German coalition in Munich to join us for a trip that's now taking place in May of 2005. And we are having a study and informational exchange trip to downtown Manhattan in May of 2005, in which we're being joined, the Munich American Peace Committee, with a group of 8 German organizations from Munich, so that we can meet face to face and discuss the Sister City project, discuss how we can grow together and form a real partnership and exchange information. And we hope to invite the Americans to come to us in Munich and be a part of our peace activities and talk about what they're doing in the United States.
What could the Americans do when they come to Munich, for instance?
Many of our activities are related to getting authors who have written on the question of the war on terror and the globalization questions to come and do readings presenting their books. We have had speakers come and describe how the peace movement is working both in Washington, D.C., and San Francisco, and in New York City, and describe actually what the peace movement is doing on the streets.
What has to be done to keep this a living partnership?
Well, the first step has been this informational trip, which we've organized to take German activists from downtown Munich to downtown Manhattan and meet face to face with the peace groups and really brainstorm new ideas of how we can exchange information in addition to what we're doing already on the internet, and also to maybe have some joint activities. During the year, we hope to exchange radio reports and DVD film clips about our peace work here in Munich with WBAI and Democracy Now!, so that Amy Goodman and the other reporters know that the Europeans are very concerned and are following the developments of the Bush administration. Another part of the Sister City for Peace project is that we in downtown Munich have a monthly radio program on Radio Laura, and we describe the various activities that the peace movement is conducting in the United States and in New York, and report about progressive political activities of the Americans. We hope, as peace activists, to be able to invite the New Yorkers to visit us in Munich and be a part of some of our demonstrations and speak at our rallies, as well as those authors who have written books about the peace movement and the developments of the war on terror to come and have readings in downtown Munich. Our American Voices Abroad has a speakers panel so that when a New Yorker comes to us in Munich, we can quickly liaison and develop a speaking tour throughout Europe so that this individual can have exposure in various countries around Europe and get the message out. Could you tell me how your video activism can help specifically the Sister City for Peace project between Munich and New York City?
Yes. Well, one thing is to communicate to peace activists in America that they're not alone in the United States, that they're not alone, that we get people out on the streets and we work together with the Germans to let them know what the other America is thinking and saying. The other thing I want to communicate is that, of course, something about Germany and German politics. Recently, there have been a number of neo-Nazi marches throughout Germany, and I've filmed the march and the tremendous resistance that Germans from all walks of life, from the entire political spectrum and from the various religious groups, brought to oppose Nazis, the so-called Nazi revival or attempt to revive Nazism in Germany. I think that's very important for Americans to know. We also have a project which is an AVA, American Voices Abroad project, to support soldiers who apply for conscientious objector status, or if that's refused and they then refuse to serve again and then need legal help or other kinds of help. We are supporting them, and I'm making videos to document that so that we can generate financial support and political support in the United States for them. Video activism is growing throughout the world, actually. In Germany and in the United States and in many other countries, political videos provide a quick and different way of communicating what's going on in the world, of motivating other political activists. It's a new way, a different way of perceiving things, and it's very quick, though. It's not like waiting till a perfect film is produced. The purpose of political video making is to get the results out quickly so that support can be mobilized and information communicated, but quickly so people can get involved in current events. And recently in Germany there was a conference called the Camcorder Revolution, in which video activists and documentary filmmakers from all over the world attended and presented their videos and documentary films. One of the major themes was how do we create an alternative source of information, and how do we distribute this source of information when the media is dominated by large corporations. For those who have broadband internet access, they can watch the films on the internet. We have a website, www.munichpeacevideos.com, and those films, they're short, can be watched on there. For our partner groups, we're providing them with DVDs of the films which they can show at their meetings or can copy and distribute it in the United States. The Munich American Peace Committee and American Voices Abroad are part of a growing global movement of peace activists, and as the movement grows, so does our transatlantic connection need to grow. The personal contact and brainstorming of ideas is what will make this a living partnership.